Hi everyone! Today I wanted to do a video on reading slumps and how to get out of them. I was kind of in a reading slump about a month ago, and it kind of started getting me to think, wait, how did I get out of that reading slump? It's kind of hard when you're in a reading slump where you just don't want to read anything. You'd rather watch a movie or go do something else than read. And for me, it was kind of frustrating because I had all these books that I wanted to read, but I was just like not interested in them. So that's why I started thinking about reading slumps, and here are some. And I also started thinking of tips of how to get out of reading slumps. So here are 3 reasons why people get into reading slumps in the first place. So number 1 is there are too many books. Reading too much, getting burnt out. I had about 5 or 6 books on my nightstand, and I wanted to read them all, but I would end up just reading like a chapter from each and then feel like I'm not getting anywhere in the books. So that was kind of just frustrating and just like, I want to finish a book, but I have all these other ones to finish. So that was kind of a reason that got me into a reading slump, just having too many books that I'm trying to read at the same time. If you can read a lot of books at the same time, let me know how you do that, because I want to know. But yeah, so I had like 5 or 6 books, and I could not do it, and that got me into a reading slump. Number 2, iPhones, iPad, movies. During the reading slump, I would rather just watch a movie or a series or watch YouTube videos than read. There have been times where I would spend like an hour just trying to watch like these seasons on YouTube, and that got me into a reading slump because I was just not reading. Number 3 reasons why I got into a reading slump was reading books that I'm not interested in. There would be books that I would get very excited about, but once I read like 100 pages, then it would be like, oh, this is not what I thought it would be. Do I like it? I don't know. And then if I was reading other books and I'd tell myself, okay, I have to finish it, it's just get not very wanting to read because the book that I was reading. So those are the 3 reasons why I would get into reading slump, and I think other people too would get into reading slumps. Just reading too much, getting burnt out, too much technology, movies, YouTube, and not making time for reading. And 3, reading books that you're just not interested in. So, how to get out of a reading slump? So there are about 5 ways that I figured how to get out of a reading slump. The first one is audiobooks. I love audiobooks. I found out that my library has an app to have library books on audio, and you can just rent them on your iPad or phone. And once I started doing this, I loved it, and the library has just so many titles. And when you have someone else reading to you, it's kind of fun, and it kind of spurs you on to finish the book. And then once you finish the book, it's like, oh, I want to read the next book in the series, or I want to read another book by this author, or oh, the library suggested this book that I might like. Oh, this seems interesting. And then there's kind of a momentum once you finish the book. So that one was a big one for me, the audiobooks. So number 2 and 3 are kind of tied together. It's read books you want to, and put down the books you do not want to read. So there was a time where I just could not put down a book, even if I wasn't liking it, and I would just read it. And there was a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, and I didn't like it, and I think I was maybe 50 pages in, and I was just not liking it, but I felt that I had to finish it, and that kind of got me into reading slump, because I was like, oh, I just don't want to read this one. Put down the book. If there's books that you do not want to read or are not interesting for you, put it down. Come back to it later, or if you lose interest, don't come back to it. I've kind of had to come to that conclusion, because I'd just get kind of down when there'd be books that I felt I had to finish, but I didn't like. So read the books you want to, put down the books you do not want to read. Or put, yeah. 3. Watch YouTube videos. This one also helped me a lot. Just watching YouTube videos, seeing other people who are excited about books. I watch some of my own videos, just going, oh, what are the books that I got this time? Or, oh, I remember reading this book. And then that kind of spurs you on to start thinking about books, and, oh, here's a book that might be interesting. So that kind of helped me, just watching YouTube videos, just seeing what other people think, talking about books, and just getting that excitement for books again. And number 5 is make time for books. I always try to make time for books. I always have an audiobook in the car, and I have an audiobook on my iPad, so for when I'm home and cleaning and stuff like that. And I have, of course, my physical books. I usually read after dinner, so that's kind of like my reading time. And I have a lot of book sleeves, so I've started bringing books to work and reading during my lunch, and that's kind of fun too, because if you have a lunch, then you could maybe read a chapter, and when you get back home, you're like, oh, what happens next? So that's kind of also helps me to get out of a reading slump. So those are the just talking about reading slumps and how to get out of them. I hope this was helpful for you and gave you just some ideas to get out of a reading slump if you're in one. I hope you guys like this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.